The African savanna stretches endlessly beneath the rising sun, its golden grasslands shimmering with the promise and peril of a new day. The air is crisp, filled with the subtle scent of dew on dry earth, and the distant calls of awakening wildlife echo across the plains. Here, every moment is a delicate balance between life and death, as the drama of survival unfolds in silence and sudden bursts of motion. The impala, ever vigilant, senses the invisible tension that binds predator and prey in a perpetual contest. For the impala, a medium-sized antelope with a slender build and keen senses, this landscape is both home and battleground. Their existence is defined by vigilance, every muscle tuned to the faintest rustle or shifting shadow. Even as they graze, their large, sensitive ears pivot independently, scanning for the softest footfall or the whisper of grass disturbed by a stalking predator. Impalas are neither the largest nor the strongest of the savanna's inhabitants, yet they have become icons of survival through a suite of ingenious adaptations. Their greatest asset is not brute strength, but a remarkable intelligence woven into every instinctive action. Their tawny coats mirror the hues of the grasslands, rendering them nearly invisible when they freeze in place, a living shadow among the reeds. When danger approaches, impalas transform the open plains into a stage for their signature defense, the leap. With explosive power, they launch themselves up to 3 meters high and 10 meters in a single bound, clearing obstacles and confusing would-be attackers. Each leap is a calculated maneuver, a split-second decision that can mean the difference between life and death. This acrobatic display is more than a show of athleticism. As the herd leaps in unpredictable intersecting paths, predators are left disoriented, unable to single out a target amid the swirling confusion of bodies and shadows. The impala's movements are not random. Each animal reads the cues of its neighbors, adjusting its trajectory in real time to maximize the chaos for any would-be hunter. The impala's legs, long and elastic, are marvels of evolutionary engineering. Each tendon and muscle fiber is designed for sudden acceleration and breathtaking agility, allowing them to pivot, leap, and sprint with astonishing speed. Their hooves, sharp and narrow, dig into the earth for traction, enabling rapid changes in direction that leave even the fastest predators struggling to keep up. But their ingenuity extends beyond physical prowess. Hidden on the back of each hind leg is a small dark scent gland. As impalas move, these glands brush against grass and leaves, leaving behind a unique chemical signature. This invisible marker is a silent language, a way for individuals to communicate and navigate even when sight and sound fail. This invisible trail acts as a lifeline during chaos. When the herd scatters in panic, these scent markers guide individuals back together, even in the dim light of dawn or the confusion of thick undergrowth. The ability to regroup swiftly is vital, for a lone impala is an easy target, but a united herd is a fortress of vigilance. The impala's social intelligence is equally impressive. Herds move as a single, fluid entity, each member attuned to the subtle cues of its neighbors. A flick of an ear, a sudden tension in posture, or a ripple of movement through the group can trigger instant collective action. This unity is their shield, making it difficult for predators to isolate the weak or unwary. Perhaps the most extraordinary display of impala ingenuity is seen in their reproductive strategy. Females synchronize the birth of their calves, timing this event with the arrival of the rains and the flush of new grass. This precise timing ensures that the young have the best chance of survival, with abundant food and the protective cover of the herd. Within a few weeks, the savanna teems with newborns. This sudden abundance overwhelms predators, who cannot possibly catch them all, a phenomenon known as predator swamping. The calves, nimble from birth, quickly learn to run and leap, their first lessons in the art of survival. The calves, gathered in nurseries and watched over by vigilant mothers, benefit from safety in numbers. While some inevitably fall prey, the majority survive, ensuring the future of the herd. The mothers, ever alert, form a living barrier around their young, ready to sound the alarm at the first sign of danger. In the ever-changing theatre of the savannah, the impala's story is one of adaptation, intelligence, and unity. Their survival is not a matter of chance, but the result of countless generations refining the art of evasion and cooperation. Every sense is sharpened, every instinct honed by the relentless pressures of their environment. As dusk settles and the grasslands fade into shadow, the impala remains ever watchful, an enduring testament to the power of ingenuity in the wild. In the hush of twilight, their silhouettes merge with the land, a living legacy of survival shaped by intelligence, agility, and the unbreakable bonds of the herd. Across the endless, sun-baked plains of the African savanna, every day is a test of survival. Here, the rules are written by nature's harsh hand, and no animal can afford to face these challenges alone for long. The savanna is a living tapestry of alliances, where the collective wisdom and vigilance of the group often eclipse the abilities of any single creature. In this ever-shifting ecosystem, animals have evolved to recognize the immense value of unity. By gathering in groups, sometimes with their own kind, sometimes with entirely different species, they create a living shield against the constant threat of predators. These alliances are not random. They are the result of generations of adaptation, where each member's unique skills contribute to the group's survival. Mixed species herds are a hallmark of the savanna. Impalas graze alongside baboons, each species bringing its own set of survival tools. The impalas, with their acute senses and lightning-fast reflexes, complement the baboon's sharp eyesight and elevated vantage points. These partnerships are forged not by affection, but by the relentless pressure of predators, lions, leopards, and hyenas, who stalk the tall grass in search of opportunity. The impala, a master of vigilance, often positions itself near baboon troops. This is a calculated move. Baboons, with their habit of climbing trees and scanning the horizon, serve as early warning systems for the entire group. Their elevated perspective allows them to spot danger long before it arrives. This partnership is a study in complementary adaptation. While impalas keep their heads low, grazing and sniffing for the faintest trace of a predator, baboons perch high above, their keen eyes sweeping the landscape for any sign of movement. Each species covers the other's blind spots, creating a network of constant surveillance. From their treetop lookouts, baboons can detect the faintest glint of a predator's eye, or the subtle ripple of grass that betrays a stalking lion. Their vision is unparalleled, and their constant vigilance is the first line of defense for the group. When a threat is spotted, baboons erupt into a chorus of sharp, barking alarm calls. These urgent signals travel swiftly across the savanna, instantly alerting every impala and baboon within range. The alarm is unmistakable, a call to action that triggers an immediate response. Impalas are always attuned to these signals. Their large, sensitive ears swivel to catch every sound, and their noses test the air for the scent of danger. Even the faintest hint of a predator is enough to put the entire herd on edge. While baboons forage on the ground, their attention shifts to searching for roots and insects. In these moments, they are vulnerable, heads down, focus divided, exposed to ambush from stealthy predators. The impala's ever-watchful presence compensates for this lapse. At the slightest sign of unease, a sudden stillness, a raised head, a twitch of the ear, the entire group snaps to attention. The impala's body language is a silent alarm, instantly understood by all. A single snort or flick of an impala's ear can set off a chain reaction. Baboons scramble up the nearest trees, and impalas leap away in perfect synchrony. This coordinated escape is the result of finely tuned instincts honed by generations of survival in a predator-rich environment. Together, impalas and baboons form a living fortress, a multi-layered detection network of eyes, ears, and instincts. For a predator, breaching this web of awareness is a formidable challenge, often forcing them to seek easier prey elsewhere. Elsewhere on the savanna, another extraordinary alliance unfolds, this time between the tough-skinned warthog and the agile mongoose. Their partnership is a testament to the diversity of survival strategies in this ecosystem. As the dry season intensifies, water becomes scarce and mud wallows disappear. Warthogs, desperate to cool off and rid themselves of parasites, are left exposed to swarms of biting insects and relentless heat. Ticks, fleas, and other parasites infest their thick hides, causing constant irritation and threatening their health. The warthog's tough skin is no match for the persistence of these pests. Enter the mongoose, a small, energetic carnivore with a keen appetite for insects. Drawn by the promise of an easy meal, mongooses approach the warthogs without hesitation, knowing that a feast awaits. Over time, warthogs have learned to trust these unlikely partners. A silent understanding has developed, and a ritual of cooperation begins. The warthog lowers itself to the ground, signaling its readiness for the mongoose's careful attention. The warthog remains perfectly still, a living platform for the mongooses. This moment of vulnerability is balanced by the promise of relief from the torment of parasites. With nimble paws and sharp eyes, the mongooses clamber over the warthog's body, meticulously searching for every tick and flea. Each parasite removed is a meal for the mongoose and a reprieve for the warthog. For the mongooses, this is a banquet, an abundant supply of food delivered directly by their trusting partner. Their efficiency ensures that no parasite is left behind. For the warthog, it is a rare moment of peace. As the relentless itch fades, the warthog can rest, knowing that its unlikely allies are hard at work. These partnerships, shaped by necessity and refined by evolution, are the savanna's greatest secret. In a world where danger is ever present, survival depends on the strength of the group. Every alliance, every shared watch, and every act of cooperation is a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of Africa's wildlife. Beneath the relentless African sun, the savanna stretches endlessly, a living arena where every creature's existence is defined by the interplay of stealth and speed. Here, survival is not a matter of chance, but the result of countless generations of adaptation, where both predator and prey have evolved extraordinary abilities to outwit, outpace, and outlast one another. The savanna is a dynamic battlefield, a place where every movement is scrutinized and every sound carries meaning. Predators and prey are locked in a perpetual contest, each refining their tactics in response to the other's innovations. This is a world where hesitation can mean death, and mastery of stealth or speed is the difference between feast and famine. The cheetah, a marvel of evolutionary engineering, is built for explosive acceleration. Its lightweight frame, elongated spine, and flexible backbone act in perfect harmony, propelling it forward with breathtaking velocity. In a matter of seconds, the cheetah transforms from a motionless observer into a streak of motion, reaching speeds up to 70 miles per hour, faster than any other land animal on Earth. The hunt begins with a calculated risk. The cheetah's amber eyes lock onto a target, muscles coiling beneath its spotted coat. With a sudden surge, it launches itself across the open grassland, the landscape blurring beneath its pounding paws. The chase is a test of both speed and timing, for the cheetah's sprint is short-lived. Its body overheats quickly, and it must close the distance before exhaustion sets in. Before this dramatic pursuit, the cheetah employs patience as its first weapon. Perched atop a termite mound, it surveys the savanna with laser-sharp focus, searching for the slightest sign of weakness, a young impala lagging behind, or a distracted gazelle grazing at the edge of the herd. The cheetah's strategy is surgical. It isolates the vulnerable, calculating the perfect moment to strike. In a heartbeat, it erupts into action, its claws gripping the earth, tail streaming behind for balance. every muscle working in concert to close the gap with astonishing speed and precision. In contrast, the leopard is the undisputed master of stealth. Cloaked in dappled shadows, it moves with a fluid, almost ghostly grace through the tangled undergrowth. Every step is measured, every movement calculated to avoid detection. The leopard's approach is a lesson in patience and precision. It stalks its quarry with near-invisible footsteps, using every bush, every patch of tall grass as a shield. Its body hugs the earth, muscles tensed, eyes fixed on its unsuspecting target. Its coat, a tapestry of rosettes and spots, is a masterpiece of camouflage. In the shifting light of the bush, the leopard's outline dissolves, rendering it nearly invisible even to the most vigilant prey. The leopard can remain perfectly still for hours, blending seamlessly into the landscape. Its breathing slows, its gaze never wavers. It becomes a living shadow, waiting for the precise instant when its prey lets down its guard. When the moment arrives, the leopard's attack is a silent explosion. It springs from concealment with astonishing force, muscles rippling beneath its coat, claws unsheathed. The ambush is swift and lethal, leaving the prey with no chance to escape. To protect its hard-earned meal from scavengers, the leopard relies on sheer strength. With powerful jaws and sinewy limbs, it hoists its prey high into the branches of a tree, securing its prize beyond the reach of hyenas and lions. Lions, the only truly social cats, employ a different strategy altogether. Their strength lies in numbers and coordination. The pride is a finely tuned hunting machine, each member playing a specific role in the pursuit. Lionesses, the pride's primary hunters, communicate silently as they fan out across the grass. Their movements are synchronized, each lioness anticipating the other's actions, working together to outmaneuver their prey. The pride's strategy is to encircle herds of wildebeest or buffalo, cutting off escape routes and driving their quarry into carefully orchestrated traps. The final assault is a burst of collective power, overwhelming even the largest and most formidable prey. This teamwork enables lions to bring down animals far larger than themselves. Buffalo, wildebeest, and even young elephants. Their success is a testament to the power of unity and the precision of coordinated attack. African wild dogs, with their striking coats and boundless stamina, are the savanna's endurance specialists. Their hunts are defined by relentless pursuit and flawless cooperation, each member of the pack contributing to the chase. The pack pursues its chosen target over vast distances, taking turns at the front to maintain a relentless pace. Their strategy is not to overpower, but to exhaust, wearing down their prey until it can run no more. For the prey, survival is a constant test of awareness and adaptability. Each species has developed its own unique defenses, honed by the ever-present threat of predation. Against the cheetah's lightning-fast pursuit, impalas rely on agility and unpredictability. They leap in erratic zigzag patterns, twisting mid-air to evade capture, forcing the cheetah to make split-second adjustments. When leopards prowl in the shadows, prey animals depend on sharp senses and the vigilance of others. Baboons and antelope act as sentinels, sounding alarm calls that ripple across the savanna, sending herds into a frenzy of alertness and thwarting the predator's ambush. When wild dogs are on the hunt, the herd's best defense is unity. By fleeing as a tightly packed group, they make it difficult for the dogs to single out a victim, reducing the odds of being caught in the relentless pursuit. The warthog, however, is a notable exception among the savanna's prey. When danger looms, it often chooses to confront rather than flee, relying on boldness as its shield. With a sudden halt, the warthog wheels around to face its pursuer, bristling with defiance and determination. Lowering its head, it brandishes a formidable set of tusks, sharp, curved weapons that serve as a clear warning. The message is unmistakable. This is not an easy meal. This unexpected display of courage can be enough to make even a hungry lioness pause, a vivid reminder that in the savanna, survival is not just about speed or stealth, but also about the will to stand and fight. The African savanna, stretching endlessly beneath a vast sky, is a realm defined by rhythm and resilience. Here, the drama of predator and prey is only the surface of a much deeper story, a story written in the subtle interplay of adaptation, patience, and the relentless cycles of feast and famine, drought and rain. Survival in this landscape is not simply a contest of speed or strength, but a testament to the art of blending in, of knowing when to move and when to remain perfectly still, of reading the land and responding to its ever-changing moods. The greater kudu, with its elegant spiral horns and watchful eyes, is a master of invisibility. Rather than fleeing at the first sign of danger, it trusts in the ancient wisdom of stillness, melting into the tangled undergrowth of the bushveld, where every shadow and shaft of sunlight becomes its ally. The kudu's vertical white stripes are not mere decoration. They are a living camouflage, echoing the dappled light that filters through the trees. Its muted coloring and spiraling horns break up its outline, rendering it nearly invisible among the shifting patterns of sunlight and shadow. Preferring the dense thickets and woodland edges, the kudu moves with deliberate care, choosing places where the interplay of light and foliage creates a living tapestry. Here it can vanish in plain sight, a silent presence among the leaves, undetected by all but the most attentive eyes. When danger draws near, the kudu's instinct is to freeze. Every muscle tenses, its breathing slows, and its striped coat disrupts its silhouette, making it almost indistinguishable from the tangled branches and tall grasses that surround it. This strategy is a formidable defense against predators that hunt by sight, lions, leopards, and cheetahs, who sweep the landscape with keen eyes, searching for the faintest flicker of movement. Often they pass within meters of their quarry, unaware of the life hidden in the stillness. A kudu, motionless and alert, becomes a phantom, so perfectly attuned to its environment that even the sharpest predator may overlook it, even at the closest range. In these moments, the kudu ceases to be a separate creature and becomes a living part of the landscape itself, a testament to the power of adaptation and the subtle genius of evolution. Yet, even the most refined defenses have their limits. The savanna is a crucible of innovation, and predators too have evolved strategies to counter camouflage, turning the cycle of survival into a perpetual contest of adaptation. Lions and wild dogs, hunting in coordinated groups, sweep through the bush with relentless precision. Their teamwork and communication allow them to flush out even the most elusive prey, turning the tangled undergrowth into a stage for a high-stakes pursuit. Working together, these predators comb the thickets, forcing the kudu to break cover. Escape routes are quickly cut off, and the chase erupts in a burst of energy and dust. In these desperate moments, the kudu's agility becomes its salvation. It bounds through dense bush, twisting and leaping with astonishing grace, navigating obstacles with a precision honed by generations of survival. Elsewhere, the warthog, often overlooked, demonstrates a different kind of resilience. With its bristled mane and sturdy frame, it is built for endurance in a landscape that tests every inhabitant, every day. As the dry season tightens its grip and the grasses wither, the warthog adapts with remarkable ingenuity. It shifts its diet, seeking nourishment in places where others find only dust and desolation. With powerful snout and tusks, the warthog excavates the earth, unearthing roots and tubers hidden deep below the parched surface. These underground stores of moisture and nutrients sustain it when the world above is barren. The warthog's unique habit of kneeling on its calloused wrists allows it to graze efficiently, conserving precious energy as it feeds on the sparse, low-lying vegetation that others overlook. This adaptation enables the warthog to feed for hours, extracting every possible calorie from the land, a vital edge in a world where survival is measured in small, hard-won victories. The savanna itself is a living tapestry, woven from countless interactions and delicate balances. Every creature, from the smallest termite to the largest elephant, plays a role in this grand design, each action rippling outward to shape the fate of the land. The eternal contest between predator and prey is not merely a struggle for survival, it is the engine that powers the ecosystem. Each hunt, each escape, each moment of tension shapes the land and its inhabitants, driving the evolution of new strategies and adaptations. Predators, by culling the weak and the vulnerable, ensure that only the fittest survive. This natural selection maintains the health and vitality of the herds, preventing disease and overpopulation. In turn, the great herds shape the landscape itself. Their grazing and migration patterns allow grasses to regenerate, preventing overgrazing and soil erosion, and ensuring that the land remains fertile for generations to come. Even in death, each animal contributes to the cycle. Its body nourishes scavengers, vultures, hyenas, and insects, while returning vital nutrients to the soil, fueling new growth and sustaining the next generation of life. As the sun sinks below the horizon, painting the grasslands in gold and shadow, the savanna's enduring cycle continues. It is an intricate, ever-evolving dance of life, death, and renewal, a balance both fragile and resilient, supporting a breathtaking diversity of life, season after season, year after year. Gap 3s, in the vast theatres of the African savanna, life unfolds in a delicate balance, governed not only by strength or stealth, but by a complex web of communication that is as vital as water or shelter. Here every creature is fluent in a silent, intricate language, a tapestry of signals that binds predator to prey, herd to hunter, parent to offspring. This language is the invisible thread that weaves together the destinies of all who call the savanna home. Words are unnecessary here. Instead, meaning is conveyed through scents drifting on the breeze, the timbre of distant calls, and the subtlest of movements, a flicker of an ear, a brush of a trunk, a ripple of muscle beneath a striped hide. Each gesture, each sound is a message, and every message can tip the scales between life and death. Scent is the savanna's invisible script, written and read by countless noses. Elephants, with their extraordinary olfactory senses, decipher these chemical trails with astonishing precision. A matriarch may pause, trunk raised, reading the air for signals of distant water, or the warning scent of a rival herd. Each step is guided by invisible messages, marking territory, signaling distress, or guiding the family to safety. A single touch of a trunk to the earth can reveal the recent passage of a predator, the lingering presence of a friend, or the subtle shift in the wind that carries news of rain. Lions, too, are masters of scent. As they patrol the boundaries of their domain, they leave behind powerful pheromones, chemical warnings that declare ownership and strength. Each mark is a silent challenge, a boundary drawn in the language of survival. For the solitary leopard, scent is both signature and shield. With a rub against a tree or a mark on a rock, it announces its presence to rivals and potential mates, while cloaking its movements from those who would follow. Across the open plains, sound becomes the messenger. Calls and cries travel further than sight, bridging the vast distances of the grasslands. The lion's roar, deep and resonant, rolls across the savanna for miles. It is a proclamation of power, a rallying cry for pride members, and a warning to all who would trespass. Hyenas, with their complex social structures, use a symphony of whoops, giggles, and cackles. Each vocalization carries precise information, identifying individuals, signaling rank, and coordinating hunts or defense. Even the impala, usually silent, will break the quiet with a sharp, explosive snort. This alarm ripples through the herd, a wave of tension that alerts every ear and eye to the presence of a stalking predator. Body language is a silent code, instantly understood by those who share the savanna. A raised tail signals alarm, a flick of an ear betrays unease, and a sudden freeze can halt a herd in its tracks, every muscle tensed for flight. Zebras, with their dazzling stripes, move as one, each animal reading the subtle cues of its neighbors. Their coordinated patterns create a living illusion, confusing predators and protecting the vulnerable within the herd. Giraffes engage in ritualized necking battles, their movements slow and deliberate. Each swing and stance is a negotiation of dominance, a test of strength that determines access to mates and resources. Meerkats, ever vigilant, appoint sentries who stand tall above the grass. With a series of chirps and postures, they direct the group's foraging and sound the alarm at the first hint of danger, ensuring the safety of the entire clan. Across the savanna, every species has honed its own dialect, a unique blend of signals, scents, and sounds. Yet all are attuned to the warnings and invitations of their neighbors, creating a living network of information that pulses through the wild. Through these intricate exchanges, alliances are forged and conflicts avoided. Wildebeest and zebra, for example, move together, reading each other's cues to find water and evade predators, their survival intertwined by mutual understanding. As dusk settles, the savanna transforms. The voices of the day fade, replaced by the chorus of the night, owls calling, insects buzzing, and the distant roar of a lion. The language of survival never ceases, continuing in the darkness, unseen and unheard by human ears, yet vital and unending. In every scent carried on the wind, every call echoing across the grasslands, every pause and posture, the story of survival is written anew, an endless conversation echoing through the wild heart of Africa, where every signal matters and every life depends on being heard. Gap 2s. Beneath the golden grasses and shifting shadows of the African savanna, survival is a game of invisibility, a contest where every blade of grass and every patch of sunlight can mean the difference between life and death. In this vast open landscape, adaptive camouflage is the silent language of survival. Both predator and prey are sculpted by evolution to blend seamlessly into their surroundings, each adapting in unique ways to the ever-present threat of detection. Gap 1s. The tawny coats of lions and leopards are not mere colors, they are living shadows, merging with the brittle grasses and the patchwork of light and dark. As a lion stalks its prey, its golden fur dissolves into the sunlit grass, while a leopard's rosettes break up its outline, making it nearly invisible as it glides through the undergrowth. Each rosette on a leopard's coat is a masterstroke of natural design, scattering its silhouette into fragments that mimic the dappled sunlight filtering through leaves. This intricate patterning allows the leopard to approach within striking distance, unseen by even the most vigilant eyes. As dusk falls, the lion's uniform hue becomes a cloak, merging its form with the horizon. In the fading light, the boundary between predator and landscape blurs, and the lion becomes a phantom, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Gap 1s. Prey species too are artists of concealment. Antelope and gazelle, with coats echoing the colors of the earth, stand motionless among the grasses, their bodies perfectly aligned with the vertical lines of their environment. The impala's reddish-brown fur is a living canvas, painted in the hues of dry grass and sun-baked soil. When danger approaches, a single impala can vanish simply by freezing, its outline lost in the tapestry of the savanna. Young antelope, left vulnerable while their mothers forage, press themselves flat against the earth. Their bodies are sculpted to hug the ground, and their fur is muted to match the subtle tones of the soil and grass. Stillness is their shield. With every muscle relaxed and every breath measured, these fawns become indistinguishable from the landscape, evading the searching gaze of prowling predators. Gap 1s. Zebras, however, employ a strategy unlike any other: dazzle camouflage. Their bold stripes, so striking to the human eye, serve a vital purpose in the chaos of the herd. When zebras move together, their stripes create a flickering illusion, a living optical puzzle that confuses predators. The shifting patterns make it nearly impossible for a hunter to focus on a single animal, turning the herd into a swirling mass of motion and light. To a lion crouched in the grass, the zebra herd is a mirage. Individuals dissolve into the collective, and the predator's split-second hesitation can mean the difference between a successful hunt and an empty belly. In those critical moments, the herd's unity and camouflage buy precious seconds, allowing the zebras to break away and vanish into the tall grass. Gap ones. Even the smallest creatures have evolved remarkable disguises. Small mammals like the African ground squirrel are cloaked in earth-toned fur that mirrors the dusty soil. The ground squirrel's subtle coloration allows it to dart between burrows and forage in plain sight, its presence masked by the very ground it inhabits. The Savanna agama lizard, with its cryptic scales, becomes a living fragment of rock or bark. Its colors shift with the seasons, matching the changing palette of the savanna and rendering it nearly invisible to both predators and prey. Insects, too, are masters of mimicry. Some resemble twigs or leaves, while others imitate the dung scattered across the plains, evading detection by blending into the smallest details of their world. Gap ones. The chameleon stands at the pinnacle of camouflage. With specialized cells in its skin, it can shift its color and pattern in response to mood, temperature, and the surrounding environment. This living palette allows the chameleon to melt into the background, becoming a shadow that moves with the wind and light, unseen by both predator and prey. Gap ones. In the savanna, invisibility is the ultimate defense. To remain unseen is to survive another day in a world where every movement is watched, every sound is scrutinized, every pattern, every subtle hue, every shift in shade is a record of countless generations adapting to the relentless pressure of predation. The savanna's animals wear their history on their skin, each marking a story of survival. As the sun travels across the sky, the savanna transforms. Light and shadow dance across the plains, and the animals must constantly adjust, shifting their positions and postures to remain hidden. With each passing hour, creatures appear and disappear, their camouflage tested by the changing environment. Alert and attuned, they move in harmony with the landscape, always balancing the need to hide with the need to see. Gap twos. Camouflage is not a static shield. It is a living, breathing dance with the environment. Every movement, every pause is calculated to maintain the illusion of invisibility. The contest is perpetual. Predators sharpen their senses to pierce the veil, while prey refine their disguises, each side locked in an endless cycle of adaptation and counter-adaptation. On the African savanna, the mastery of disguise is not just a skill. It is a way of life, honed over millennia, and essential for every creature that calls this place home. Here, the story of survival is written in patterns and shadows, hidden in plain sight, and played out every day in the endless theatre of the wild. As the blazing sun dips below the horizon, the savanna undergoes a dramatic transformation. The golden light fades, replaced by a tapestry of deep indigos and shimmering silver, as the moon rises to preside over a world reborn in darkness. The once familiar landscape becomes mysterious and unpredictable. Shadows stretch across the plains, and the air cools, carrying the subtle scents and sounds of creatures preparing for the night ahead. In this twilight realm, a new cast of specialists emerges. Each is armed with remarkable adaptations, honed by generations of survival in the darkness. The first to stir are the night's silent hunters, predators whose senses are finely tuned for the challenges of the dark. Lions, having spent the day conserving energy in the shade, now rise with purpose. Their bodies are built for power, but it is their senses that give them the edge after sunset. Their eyes, equipped with a reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum, amplify even the faintest glimmer of starlight. This adaptation allows them to detect the slightest movement, a twitch of an ear, the flick of a tail, across vast distances. Each step is calculated and silent, thanks to thickly padded paws that muffle their approach. The lions move as shadows themselves, closing in on unsuspecting prey with lethal precision. Elsewhere, leopards, solitary and elusive, navigate the tangled undergrowth. Their bodies are built for stealth, their movements almost imperceptible as they melt into the darkness. The leopard's rosetted coat breaks up its outline, blending seamlessly with the dappled shadows. Its ears, swiveling independently, catch the faintest rustle, a rodent scurrying, a bird shifting on a branch. With a sudden burst of speed, the leopard strikes. Its powerful jaws silence its prey, and in moments it ascends a tree, hoisting its catch high above the reach of scavengers. Yet the night is not the exclusive domain of hunters. Herbivores, too, have evolved to meet the unique challenges of nocturnal life. Antelope and zebra, ever vigilant, rely on enhanced night vision and acute hearing. Their large, sensitive ears swivel constantly, picking up the faintest sounds of danger.
High in the trees, bush babies leap from branch to branch. Their oversized eyes, adapted to gather every available photon, allow them to spot insects and ripe fruit in near-total darkness. Elephants, guided by an extraordinary sense of smell and a memory that maps every waterhole, travel under the cover of night. They avoid the heat and the threat of predators, moving in near silence across the moonlit plains. The savanna's smallest residents are no less ingenious. Rodents and insects emerge from burrows and crevices, taking advantage of the cooler air and reduced risk from diurnal predators. The aardvark, a master excavator, uses its keen sense of smell to locate termite mounds. Its powerful claws make quick work of the hardened earth, and its long, sticky tongue gathers a feast while most threats remain dormant. In the air, moths and beetles take flight. Some emit a faint bioluminescent glow, while others release pheromones to attract mates. All must evade the relentless pursuit of bats, whose echolocation pierces the darkness. The night vibrates with hidden life. Chirps, clicks, and rustles weave a complex soundscape, each note a signal of territory, of warning, of opportunity. Hyenas, ever opportunistic, patrol the darkness. Their eerie calls echo across the plains, signaling both the presence of food and the boundaries of their clans. Above, owls glide on silent wings, their facial discs funneling the faintest sounds to pinpoint prey below. On the ground, snakes move with stealth, their forked tongues sampling the air for chemical trails left by potential victims. In this world of shadows, every sense is sharpened. Eyes gleam in the darkness, ears twitch at the slightest sound, and every movement is a calculated risk. The savanna's nocturnal inhabitants are locked in a perpetual contest. Predator and prey, each adapting, each evolving, their fates intertwined in the delicate balance of survival. As the first blush of dawn paints the horizon, the creatures of the night vanish into shadow. Only footprints in dew-laden grass and the faintest echoes of their passage remain, until darkness falls once more, and the cycle of survival begins anew.
The African savanna stretches endlessly, a living mosaic where every species plays a part. Yet a select few hold the power to shape the fate of all. These are the Keystone species, the architects of balance whose presence and actions ripple through the ecosystem, ensuring its stability and resilience. Among them, the African elephant stands as a true giant, not just in size, but in influence. Their daily movements and behaviors are a force of nature, sculpting the landscape in ways both subtle and profound. As herds traverse the grasslands, their massive bodies carve pathways through dense vegetation, opening corridors that allow smaller animals to travel and forage with ease. Each step leaves a mark, footprints that collect rainwater, creating tiny oases for insects and amphibians. Their sheer strength pushes aside thick brush, transforming impenetrable thickets into open glades. With their tusks, elephants strip bark and snap branches, thinning out woodlands and letting sunlight flood the ground. This act alone sparks a chain reaction as new grasses sprout in the light, attracting grazers from miles around. In these sunlit clearings, antelope and zebra gather to feed, their presence a testament to the elephant's silent stewardship. The grasses they favor thrive only because the giants have made space for them. During the harsh dry season, elephants dig deep into parched earth, unearthing water that sustains not just themselves but entire communities. Buffalo, birds, and even the smallest insects flock to these precious waterholes. Yet not all keystone species are giants. The termite, often overlooked, is a master builder whose influence is felt from the ground up. Their towering mounds rise above the grasses, offering shelter and vantage points for mongooses, reptiles, and nesting birds. These structures become microhabitats, bustling with life even as the savanna stretches silent around them. Termites tirelessly break down dead wood and plant debris, recycling nutrients into the soil. Around their mounds, the earth is richer, supporting lush grasses that draw grazers and browsers alike. The great herds, wildebeest, zebra, and gazelle, are the pulse of the savanna. Their migrations sweep across the plains, shaping the land with every hoofbeat. As they move, they trim grasses to the perfect height, preventing bush from overtaking open spaces. Their hooves churn the soil, planting seeds and aerating the earth, ensuring the next generation of plants can take root. This constant grazing maintains the savanna's iconic open character, supporting a dazzling diversity of life, from insects and birds to the predators that stalk the tall grass. At the apex, predators like lions and hyenas play a role no less vital. Their presence keeps prey populations healthy and balanced. By targeting the sick, the old, and the weak, they prevent disease from spreading and ensure that only the fittest survive, strengthening the herds for generations to come. The actions of these keystone species are woven together, forming an intricate web of relationships. Each track in the dust, each call at dawn, is a thread in the tapestry of life. Remove even one, and the balance falters. Woodlands would encroach, waterholes would dry, and the harmony between predator and prey would unravel, threatening the very foundation of the savanna. It is in the quiet moments, an elephant's gentle push, a termite's endless toil, a lion's silent stalk, that the savanna's stability is forged and maintained, often unnoticed but always essential. As dawn breaks and the savanna awakens, the legacy of these keystone species is written in every shimmering blade of grass, every ripple in a waterhole, and in the enduring vitality of this remarkable land. Beneath the towering grasses and between the shadows cast by acacia trees, a quieter symphony unfolds, one orchestrated by the smallest architects of the savanna. Insects and plants engage in a dance of survival and adaptation, their interactions shaping the very fabric of this ecosystem. We begin with the acacia tree, its delicate leaves trembling in the morning breeze. But these leaves are more than just a meal for browsing giraffes. They are battlegrounds and homes for ants. In a remarkable alliance, certain acacia species offer shelter within swollen thorns and sweet nectar at their leaf bases, inviting colonies of fierce ants. In return, the ants become vigilant guardians, swarming to drive off hungry herbivores, and even pruning away encroaching vines. This silent patrol ensures the acacia thrives, while the ants find both food and refuge. Elsewhere, the cicada's call rises with the heat, signaling a hidden world of pollinators at work. Bees and butterflies hover over bursts of color, wildflowers and flowering shrubs, transferring pollen with each delicate landing. Their journeys are vital, stitching together the genetic tapestry of the savanna's flora, ensuring that each season brings a new flourish of life. Termites, already celebrated as keystone engineers, play yet another role as decomposers. With tireless precision, they break down fallen wood and dry grasses, returning nutrients to the earth. This invisible labor feeds the roots of countless plants, sparking cycles of growth that ripple through the food web. Even the dung beetle, often overlooked, is a master of transformation. By rolling and burying animal droppings, these beetles fertilize the soil, aerate the ground, and clear the plains, each action a silent investment in the next generation of grasses and flowers. Together, these insects and plants form a living network, each interaction a thread pulling the savanna's tapestry tighter. Their collaboration is rarely seen but always felt, in the burst of new blooms after the rains, in the resilience of the grasses beneath stamping hooves, and in the delicate balance that sustains all life on these golden plains. In the web of small wonders, survival is not a solo act, but a masterpiece of partnership, each tiny life echoing through the vastness of the savanna. Across the endless expanse of the savanna, the cycle of life is dictated not by the clock, but by the sky. Here, weather is the ultimate sculptor, its brushstrokes of rain and drought, sun and wind, shaping every movement, every decision of the creatures that call this land home. With the arrival of the rainy season, the parched earth stirs. Thunderheads gather on the horizon, and the first heavy drops awaken dormant seeds beneath the soil. Grasses surge skyward in vibrant green waves, and shallow pools mirror the sudden abundance. Herbivores like wildebeest and zebra sense the shift, embarking on epic migrations to chase the freshest grazing grounds. Their synchronized journeys are timed with uncanny precision, guided by the promise of water and new growth. Predators, too, adapt. Lion prides reposition along migration routes, while cheetahs take advantage of taller cover to stalk their prey. But as the rains retreat and dry season claims the land, the savanna transforms. Grasses yellow and rivers shrink, leaving only scattered watering holes as lifelines. Competition intensifies. Elephants, with their deep memory, lead herds across vast distances to ancient water sources, sometimes digging into dry riverbeds to uncover hidden reserves. Smaller animals adjust their routines, nocturnal habits become more pronounced, as cooler nights offer respite from the relentless sun. Birds time their nesting to coincide with insect booms after the first rains, ensuring a bounty for their young. Every species, from the towering giraffe to the burrowing meerkat, is tuned to the subtle signals of the changing seasons. Some shed their coats for lighter fur, while others synchronize births with times of plenty, giving their offspring the best chance at survival. Even the trees respond, dropping leaves to conserve moisture, or flowering in anticipation of pollinators brought by the rains. Through flood and famine, storm and stillness, the savanna's inhabitants endure by reading the weather's every cue. In this land of extremes, adaptation is the only constant, and the rhythm of survival beats in time with the fickle heart of the sky. Beneath the towering silhouettes of elephants and the thunderous herds of wildebeest, a world of lesser-known survivors thrives in the shadows of the savanna. These are the quiet specialists, the creatures whose names rarely echo in documentaries, yet whose survival tactics are marvels of evolution. As the camera glides low over the earth, the tenrec, a small insectivore, emerges at dusk. Cloaked in a bristled coat, it scuttles through the underbrush, using its acute sense of smell to unearth termites and beetle larvae. When threatened, it rolls into a ball, its spines deterring all but the most determined predators. Nearby, the African painted reed frog clings to a blade of grass, its skin shifting from green to brown to match its surroundings. During the dry season, it enters a state of estivation, sealing itself in a cocoon of shed skin to conserve precious moisture until the rains return. In a tangle of roots, the golden mole tunnels silently beneath the surface. Blind but exquisitely attuned to vibrations, it navigates a hidden labyrinth, surfacing only at night to avoid the searing heat and the gaze of aerial hunters. Its metallic fur glimmers under the moonlight, repelling dirt and helping it slip effortlessly through sand. The camera draws closer to a colony of naked mole rats, deep underground. Here, strict social hierarchies and cooperative living ensure survival where food is scarce. Each member has a role. Some dig, some guard, and only one female breeds, reducing competition and conserving energy. Above ground, the Antlion larva constructs a pit trap, waiting motionless beneath a thin layer of sand. Unsuspecting ants slip on the steep sides, tumbling down to their fate. Precision and patience define this hunter, whose existence depends on the art of ambush. In the dense grass, the pygmy mongoose forms a defensive circle around its young, while sentinels perch on termite mounds, scanning for danger. Their high-pitched calls trigger instant responses, sending the entire group darting for cover at the first sign of a threat. These unsung survivors, masters of concealment, adaptation, and cooperation, are vital threads in the savanna's intricate web. Though small and often unseen, their ingenious strategies ensure that life, in all its forms, continues to flourish beneath the savanna's vast and watchful sky. Across the sun-baked plains of the savanna, water is the most precious and most unpredictable resource. As the camera sweeps over cracked earth and shrinking waterholes, the urgency of survival becomes clear. Here, every drop is contested, and every creature must adapt or perish. A herd of oryx, their sleek coats shimmering with heat, strides purposefully across the barren landscape. These antelopes have mastered the art of endurance, raising their body temperatures to reduce sweating and thus conserve water. Their kidneys concentrate urine to minimize loss, and they can survive for weeks without drinking, drawing moisture from the sparse vegetation they consume. The focus shifts to a group of helmeted guinea fowl pecking at the dew-laden grass in the early dawn. For many birds, timing is everything. They feed and drink during the coolest hours, capitalizing on fleeting moisture before the relentless sun claims it. Some, like the sandgrouse, fly vast distances to reach distant waterholes. The males return with water absorbed in their specialized belly feathers, precious cargo for their waiting chicks. Beneath the surface, the African spiny mouse demonstrates a different approach. It spends the hottest hours in deep burrows where humidity is higher and temperatures are stable. Here it enters periods of torpor, lowering its metabolic rate to conserve both energy and water until nightfall brings cooler air. A close-up reveals the roots of the baobab tree swollen with stored water. These ancient giants act as living reservoirs, sustaining not only themselves, but also countless animals that gnaw at their bark or shelter in their shade during droughts. The camera lingers on a troop of vervet monkeys, delicately licking condensation from leaves after a rare morning fog, a testament to the ingenuity born of necessity. Even the smallest denizens adapt. The jewel beetle's waxy exoskeleton prevents dehydration, while the burrowing frog remains entombed in mud, sealed in a cocoon of its own skin. It waits, motionless, for the first rumble of thunder to signal the return of the rains. As the dry season deepens, competition intensifies at the remaining waterholes. Crocodiles lie in ambush, while elephants dig into the riverbeds, unearthing hidden groundwater that sustains entire communities. The savanna's rhythm is dictated by scarcity, but its inhabitants are united by resilience, each life shaped by the eternal quest for water. In this land of extremes, survival belongs to those who adapt, endure, and find opportunity in the harshest drought. The story of the savanna is, above all, a story of thirst, and the remarkable tenacity it inspires. As the first rays of dawn stretch across the savanna, a silent choreography unfolds, one that is as ancient as the grasslands themselves. Predator and prey move in tandem, each shaping the destiny of the other in a delicate, ever-shifting equilibrium. A pride of lions emerges from the golden grass, muscles rippling beneath tawny coats, eyes locked on a distant herd of wildebeest. The camera lingers on the tension in the air, every glance and twitch a signal in the silent language of survival. The wildebeest cluster tighter, their movements synchronizing in response to the predator's presence. This vigilance is not just instinct. It is a finely tuned adaptation honed by generations of pressure. When the lions strike, the outcome is never certain. A young antelope darts away, zigzagging through the thicket, while a zebra stallion positions himself between the lions and his herd, ears flattened in defiance. The chase is a test of strength, speed, and strategy, but it is also a test of necessity. Predators cull the weak, sick, or old, maintaining the health and vitality of the prey population. As the hunt concludes, scavengers gather. Spotted hyenas and jackals, patient and opportunistic, move in to claim what remains. Their role is vital, cleaning the savanna, recycling nutrients, and ensuring that nothing is wasted. Even the bones left behind will be ground down by beetles and termites, returning minerals to the soil and supporting the next flush of grass. Elsewhere, a cheetah mother watches over her cubs, their survival dependent on her ability to secure food in this unforgiving landscape. Each successful hunt means nourishment for her young, but every miss brings risk. In this relentless cycle, predator and prey are bound together, their fates inseparable. The camera pans over the landscape, revealing the interconnected web of life. Every pursuit, every escape, and every meal shapes the population dynamics of both hunter and hunted. Too many predators, and the prey would dwindle. Too few, and the balance would tip, leading to overgrazing and collapse. This is the savanna's unspoken pact, a perpetual dance that ensures diversity, resilience, and the enduring vitality of the grasslands. Here, survival is not a solitary struggle, but a shared story, written in the tracks pressed into the earth and the watchful eyes that scan the horizon. Across continents and oceans, the influence of the savanna stretches far beyond its sun-bleached boundaries. With every sunrise, these grasslands act as a living engine, driving processes that ripple through the planet's web of life. As the camera sweeps over endless golden plains, it reveals more than just animal drama. It uncovers the savanna's profound role as a reservoir of global biodiversity. Each blade of grass and acacia branch is part of an intricate network, hosting a staggering array of species. From the tiniest dung beetle to the towering giraffe, the savanna's residents are specialists, each finely adapted to survive its challenging rhythms. But their significance does not end here. Migratory birds, some traveling thousands of kilometers from distant continents, rely on these grasslands as critical stopovers and breeding grounds. Their journeys link the African savanna to wetlands in Europe, forests in Asia, and even Arctic tundras, moving nutrients and seeds across hemispheres. The camera zooms in on a flock of quailias lifting into the sky, a living cloud that disperses seeds over vast distances. Antelope herds graze, their hooves aerating the soil and stimulating new plant growth, while elephants forge new pathways, shaping watercourses that sustain countless other species. Each action, though seemingly local, has cascading effects far beyond the immediate horizon. The savanna is also a genetic treasure trove. Its plants and animals hold adaptations that inspire research into drought resistance, disease control, and sustainable agriculture worldwide. Scientists study the resilience of savanna grasses, hoping to unlock secrets that could safeguard crops on distant continents in an era of changing climate. As the camera captures a distant thunderstorm rolling over the plains, the narration reveals another vital connection: the savanna's role in stabilizing the global climate. Through cycles of growth, fire, and regrowth, these grasslands sequester carbon, moderate temperatures, and influence rainfall patterns, even in regions far removed from Africa's heart. In this way, the savanna's story is not isolated. It is written in the migrations of birds, the resilience of crops, and the stability of distant climates. The camera fades out on a panoramic view of the grasslands, underscoring a simple truth: the fate of the savanna is inseparable from the fate of life everywhere. Its preservation is not just a regional concern, but a global imperative. one that echoes across ecosystems, continents, and generations yet to come.